we will see the atypical cervical vertebrae, which are first, second and seventh vertebrae. Here we are looking at the first cervical vertebrae. It is also called the atlas. The parts of the first cervical vertebrae are as follows. Here you can see the first cervical vertebrae doesn't have a body and it is ring shaped. The first cervical vertebra has an anterior arch and a posterior arch. The anterior arch of this vertebra has a tubercle on its anterior surface, which is called the median anterior tubercle, and opposite to this median anterior tubercle on the posterior surface you can see this oval facet which provides articulation to the dens. So here the first cervical vertebrae articulates with the dens of the second cervical vertebrae to form the atlantoaxial joint. The posterior arch here is longer than the anterior arch, and the superior surface of the posterior arch on its proximal end, it has a groove for the passage of the vertebral artery. Here this groove is converted into the foramen. The posterior surface of the posterior vertebral arch has a tubercle on its medial part. It is called the posterior median tubercle. Now the articular surfaces of the first cervical vertebra. The superior articular facet of the atlas are elongated and concave from anterior to posterior. The inferior articular facet of the atlas, they are oval and almost flat. The superior articular facets here, they articulates with the occipital condyle of the basi-occiput of the skull to form the atlanto-occipital joint, and here the inferior articular facets, they articulate with the inferior So here you can see articulation between atlas and the second cervical vertebra, which is axis. So here the inferior articular facet of the atlas articulates with the superior articular facets on the second cervical vertebra. Here you can also see the medial atlantoaxial joint. Here this is the dens of the second cervical vertebra here, which is articulating with the facet on the anterior arch of the arch of the atlas. Now look at the lateral masses of the first cervical vertebra. Here you can't see the anterior root and anterior tubercle and posterior tubercle like that of the typical cervical vertebra. The foramen transversarium is present here, and the lateral mass or say transverse process of the first cervical vertebra are quite long, and they can be felt or palpated between the angle of the mandible and mastoid process on deep palpation. Here just near the superior articular facet you can see these two tubercles. These two tubercles, it provides attachment to the transverse ligament. This transverse ligament, it provides support to the dens on the posterior aspect. So this completes the features of the first cervical vertebra. So here now we are looking at the second cervical vertebrae. The most prominent feature present in the second cervical vertebrae is this dens, which is also called the odontoid process. The second cervical vertebrae is also known as the axis. Here as the dens is forming the atlantoaxial joint like this, the dens is said to be the centrum or the detached portion of the body of the first cervical vertebrae, and the dens here, it is fused with the body of the second cervical vertebrae. The other parts of the second cervical vertebra are here. This superior articular facet of the second cervical vertebrae is encroaching upon the pedicles, and it is covering the pedicles here. And here you can see the transverse process or the lateral mass, which is lodging this foramen transversarium, and the foramen transversarium is hanging by the side of the superior articular facet. Posterior to the superior articular facet, we have this lamina. The lamina here is like that of the other typical cervical vertebrae, and posteriorly it has this short and straight the spinous process. The body of the second cervical vertebrae, it has two surfaces, the anterior surface and the posterior surface. The lower part of the anterior surface is beveled here, or say it is elongated. Here in second cervical vertebra, the inferior vertebral notch is quite wider and deeper than the other cervical vertebrae. Here one more important thing to remember about the first and second cervical vertebrae are the joint forming here, the medial atlantoaxial joint, which is forming between the dens and the anterior arch of the first cervical vertebrae, is pivot variety of synovial joint, which to side movement of the neck. So these are the features of second cervical vertebra. Now we are moving forward the last atypical vertebrae, that is the seventh vertebra. Here you can see the features of the seventh cervical vertebra are same as those of the other typical vertebra, but the seventh cervical vertebrae, it may or may not have this foramen transversarium, and this foramen transversarium if present, it doesn't provide passage to the vertebral artery. The vertebral artery passes from the foramen transversarium of upper 6 vertebra only, and the other distinguishing feature of the seventh cervical vertebrae is the spinous process of the seventh cervical vertebrae. The spinous process here is quite longer than the other vertebrae, and it is straight and it is not bifid. So these are the features of seventh cervical vertebra, and this completes all the cervical vertebrae here. The seventh cervical vertebra here is also known as the vertebrae prominence because of its elongated spinous process. The vertebral foramen of all the vertebra present, it forms the vertebral canal which lodges the spinal cord with its meninges, and this intervertebral foramina forming between the notches of this vertebrae, they provide passage to the spinal nerves here. So this is all about the cervical vertebrae. We will learn the other vertebrae with the respective regions.